One day you're gonna look back at this quiet season and you're gonna realize that it saved you. It saved you from attachments that would have drained you, from paths that weren't meant for you, from versions of yourself that were built for survival, not purpose. Loneliness teaches you how to sit with discomfort without escaping it, how to find peace without constant distraction. And once you learn that, you stop begging for company that cost you your peace. You stop forcing connections that don't feel aligned. You stop confusing attention for love. This season isn't here to break you. It's here to refine you. So don't rush it. Don't fight it. And don't shame yourself for it. Some of the most important transformations only happen in silence.
If you are losing the fire inside of you, life is over. So what do you need in order to live like life? We need fire. This fire only comes when we are using willpower. And the more you have this, the more internally it starts to generate this heat, this vitality. It is that vitality that makes you then push through things even if it will become hard one day.
I was forced to go only internal. External had to go away. The external world had to go away. And living so deep inside myself, it was me in this brain and figuring out how this thing works.
Brother, you're silently holding it together, carrying a weight without complaining, and showing up when no one knows the cost. And then you wonder if anyone sees it or if it even matters. It does. Because a man that keeps walking is a man that God can trust. Just keep going.
Instead of huge steps, what we are using as a method is continuity. Repetition is your friend, not huge jumping. It is the repetition of things that starts to embody something inside of you.
Use the word destiny over and over throughout the book. What does that mean to you?
It's a feeling you have that you know something about yourself nobody else does. The picture you have in your mind of what you're about will come true. It's kind of a thing you kind of have to keep to your own self because it's a fragile feeling and you put it out there, somebody will kill it. So it's best to keep that all inside.
Revisit your dream. It doesn't cost anything to dream. And our dreams need auditing. As you go into this next year, it shouldn't just be doubling down on the same dream. Really take some time and evaluate your real purpose. D.L. Moody said, our greatest fear should not be that we fail. Our greatest fear should be that we succeed at something that doesn't matter. And so if you really believe what you're doing matters, it gives you a peace through turmoil, through difficulty, through ups and downs. If I fail in the attempt to do something that matters, I can live with that.
You do realize that this could be the year that you change your life. You just log in. Me and you both know you didn't stick to the script last year, but it's okay though, because this year we're coming for everything that we lost and more. We ain't hearing the excuses no more. Your future is tired of that. You're the only one that can make it right, but you're also the only person that can mess it up. Lock in and change your life, like your life depends on it, because it do.
Understand that 2025 is right around the corner, and if you want to make the most of it, this is what you're going to do. Work on your personal craft because it is only through a project that you are genuinely able to improve. And most importantly, take action because you will accomplish nothing unless you go out there and will it into existence. If you're able to do all of those, I guarantee that you will have the best year of your life.
How much did they first pay you to give up on your dreams?
27 grand a year.
And when were you going to stop and come back and do what makes you happy?
Question.
I see guys who work at the same company for their entire lives, guys exactly like you. They clock in, they clock out, and they never have a moment of happiness. You have an opportunity here, Bob. This is a rebirth.
I think having a purpose is that thing that makes us tick, that gets us up every day and gets us over the hump of opposition and adversity. And the reason that I champion adversity and opposition is because I think for the most part in life, people pretty much know what to do when things go right, right? Like when things go right, they know how to feel, they know how to act, how to react. But it's when that opposition and that adversity comes and it creates a level of misunderstanding, right? Now the vision is blurred. Now you don't have clarity about what you're supposed to do. Now you question if your existence matters. And I think when you have a purpose, it's powerful because in the midst of the opposition, it makes you realize that you've been put here for a certain reason.
If you make yourself more than just a man, if you devote yourself to an ideal, and if they can't stop you, then you become something else entirely.
Is legend a story?
Visser, you can't fear change. In one of the beautiful passages in meditation, Marcus Aurelius reminds himself that everything in life comes from change, good and bad. And by trying to keep things the same, not only are you, of course, focused on something that you don't control, but you're preventing yourself from all the wonderful opportunities that exist that could come your way. We live in a time of disruption. We live in a time of institutions that are falling apart. We live in a time of innovation, new institutions that are being created. So you can't fear what's going to come of that. The Stoics would say, all you can focus on this year is embracing those things, adapting yourself to change, acquiescing to that change, rather than fighting it, rather than fearing it, rather than resenting it. Because it's going to happen regardless of how you feel about it. So what you should focus on, the Stoics would say, is what you're going to do about it.
Life is hard on the good days when you expect so much of yourself, and when the bad days come around, keeping the promises feels almost impossible. I wish I could explain to you the pit in my stomach in those moments, but I'm not sure I have the right words, to be honest. Somehow I always see the other side of the promise kept, though, and the difficult part is that it doesn't provide the relief you'd hope it would. My only consolation at times is that I know I did the right thing to maintain who I am, because that is the one thing I cannot let myself lose.
One guy came over to me frustrated. Because, man, I keep on failing. Took me 4 times to pass the bar. We're trying to start my business. I keep on failing at that. The whole time he was talking to me, I started smiling. He goes, why are you smiling? I said, because you missed it. I don't see failure. I see grit, determination, drive, sacrifice. Failure means you're trying. A whole bunch of people out here never fail, because they never try. He said, how do you handle failure, guys? I said, I don't look at it as failure. I look at it as my first, second, third attempt. One thing in life that's for sure, the value, motherfucker, always wins. Stay hard.
The year's almost over. It's been a tough year, right? But we're not going to talk about that right now. This is for making it through this tough year. There's been a lot of good and bad, but I'm happy that you've made it this far and that you're still here. Thank you for hanging in there, and I'm proud of you for staying strong.
If you wish to be the king of the jungle, it's not enough to act like a king. You must be the king. There can be no doubt, because doubt causes chaos and one's own demise.
Start something you believe in and give it everything you have. Not for the applause, not for the outcome, but because it's yours. Focus on the work. Let it consume you. Take small steps every day and watch how they compound. What feels impossible now becomes inevitable over time. Forget perfection. Forget shortcuts. Mastery lives in repetition, and the timeline for greatness is a lifetime.
patience, and you come out the other side and you realize how much you grew through that, you start becoming grateful, right? One, you become grateful for what you just went through. You become grateful for the past experiences, but also you become grateful for when you are going through tough situations in the future, because you understand that literally the situation and the season I'm in right now is developing me in a certain way that maybe I can't see right now, but I know that if I keep showing up, keep taking it day by day, step by step, moment by moment, I'm going to come out a better version of myself. Man, I'm grateful for that.
There's a quiet kind of pain in starting over. It feels like failure, like all the effort, all the time, all the dreams you poured into something have been erased. Like you're back at square one, staring at the wreckage of what could have been. Starting over isn't just hard, it's humbling. It forces you to face everything you thought you'd left behind, your fears, your doubts, and the heavy weight of regret. But here's the thing, starting over isn't the end, it's the beginning. It doesn't feel like that though, does it? When you're in it, when the dust hasn't settled, and all you can see is what you've lost, it's hard to imagine that this could be the start of something better, something stronger, something worth all the pain. And yet, that's exactly what it is. You see, life isn't linear. It's not a straight path from point A to point B. It's messy. It's filled with detours, dead ends, and moments where you have to stop, turn around, and begin again. And that's not failure. That's life. The people who never start over, the ones who cling to what's broken because they're too afraid to begin again, they're the ones who stay stuck. They're the ones who never grow, never change, never find out what's waiting for them on the other side of the storm. Starting over is an act of courage. It's standing in the ruins of what you thought your life would be and saying, this isn't where it ends. This is where it begins. It's choosing to believe that no matter how many times you've fallen, no matter how many times you failed, you still have something left in you, something worth fighting for. And here's the truth. Starting over doesn't mean erasing everything that came before. It doesn't mean forgetting the lessons, the strength, the resilience you've built along the way. It means taking those things, those hard-earned truths, and using them as the foundation for what comes next. Because every time you start over, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. And that makes all the difference. Think about a tree that's been cut down. On the surface, it looks like the end. The trunk is gone, the branches are gone, the leaves are gone. But deep beneath the soil, the roots remain. And those roots, they're still alive, still strong, still capable of growing something new. That's you. No matter how many times life has cut you down, your roots are still there. And from those roots, you can rebuild. You can grow. You can rise. But rebuilding takes time. It takes patience. And most of all, it takes faith. Faith in yourself. Faith in the process. Faith that even though you can't see the end yet, it's worth the work. And it is work. Starting over means showing up every day, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Even when it feels like you're getting nowhere. It means planting the seeds of your future self, watering them with your effort, and trusting that, eventually, they'll grow. And they will grow. Because that's what life does. It grows. Even in the face of loss. Even in the face of failure. Even in the face of uncertainty. Life has a way of finding a path forward, of creating something new from the ashes of what was. And you are no different. You are life. You are growth. You are the possibility of what comes next. Starting over also requires something else, the ability to forgive yourself, to let go of the mistakes you've made, the opportunities you've missed, the times you've fallen short. You're not perfect. You never will be. And that's okay. Perfection isn't the goal. Growth is. Progress is. Becoming a little bit stronger, a little bit wiser, a little bit more yourself every day. That's the goal. So if you're standing at the edge of a new beginning, unsure of whether you have the strength to start again, let me tell you this. You do. You've already survived the worst. You've already faced the pain, the heartbreak, the loss. and you're still here. That means you're stronger than you think. That means you're capable of more than you know. And when you start again, when you take that first step, it's not going to feel monumental. It's not going to feel like a movie montage where everything suddenly falls into place. It's going to feel small, quiet, maybe even insignificant. But that first step, it's everything. Because it's proof that you're not done yet. It's proof that you're willing to try. And that willingness, that's where transformation begins. Starting over doesn't mean you failed. It means you're brave enough to keep going. It means you're willing to leave behind what no longer serves you, to let go of the life you thought you wanted so you can create the life you're meant to live. And that life, it's out there, waiting for you to take the steps, to put in the work, to believe in yourself enough to try.
Never give up. Never, never give up. I think that more than anything else, from every study I've read that's critical, if you resolve in advance that once you're set off to achieve your goal, that you will never give up, but you will never quit, that nothing can stop you, that every single difficulty will just be a spur to drive you on, that you will become an inverse paranoid and you'll look into every problem and you look for the good in the problem, you look for the lesson that you can learn. You look for the way you can turn the situation to your advantage. If you keep on doing that, if you keep optimistic, if you keep this attitude of confident expectation going, you will be successful. Your persistence is your measure of your belief in yourself. And every time you persist in the face of adversity, your belief in yourself increases until it reaches the point where you become unstoppable on the pathway to your goals.
I'm standing here right now in front of you. Judge me. I'm proud of every inch. I'm proud of every second. Do I have flaws? Yes. Do I work on them once they're identified? Yes. Am I constantly trying to improve the name state, the IPO value of my name? Yes, I am. The small things mean as much to me as the large things, because those small things add up to be more and more and more. They create the big thing. You know, the big thing isn't just one. It's trained for, it's fought for. In the training, in the gym, you know, in those moments of character testing, of morality, integrity, that everyone seems to fail these days. Who stands up, picks up the trash when no one's looking? Who does that? The same person that's on top of the podium later in life. They go hand in hand. It's a heartbeat, guys, at the end, that really wins it. At the toppest level of competition, everyone's got the talent, everyone's got the perseverance, everyone has it all, and everyone wants it. But somebody wants it more. Someone's heartbeat is constantly beating for it. Not just when people are watching, not just in training, but when they're sleeping, they're dreaming of it. It's a constant cycle. How do you know when you're on the right path? When the small nuances in life that people don't really value, they consider a nuisance, you consider them as valuable as the big events when everyone is watching.
Your potential is determined by how much uncertainty you're willing to embrace.
When you're built different than everybody else and you have this desire for more and this desire for achievement and this desire to win, everybody else looks at you like you're something dumb.
When people don't understand you anymore, you're in that spot of obsession and drive where people are like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? I don't want to talk to you, man, because you're not going to get it. You will never understand what is wrong with me. And that's why I'm so glad you don't, because I'm in the right spot.
And they'll tell you that too. You know, what's wrong with you? Like, why can't you just relax? Why can't you just do this? Why can't, because I'm just not built that way, man.
Has the alcohol worked yet, or do you still wake up the next day with the same pain that needs to be swept under the rug even harder? Did the drink turn you into that better version of yourself yet? Or does your personality still require that liquid confidence every time just to come alive? I suppose if drinking is your source of fun, a good time is defined by escaping yourself, even if just a little bit. It doesn't seem that gratifying to me. You know, if you wanted to feel good without the poison, you definitely can, and a lot of people do it. But there's a heavy pressure of normalcy to break through if you're ever gonna find them and do the same.
Whether you like it or not, from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, a lot of us are at war with ourselves. And within that war, you have several battles. Those battles are basically choices. No, I'm not talking about a war that you might find in the Colosseum. I'm talking about a war that's in your brain. That war exists because life has so many choices. Within those choices, you gotta make right decisions. You know what? Yeah. When your alarm goes off in the morning, you have to wake up. Don't wake up, don't worry about that. When you're in school, that man, it's too hard to step, so don't study. You know what? Don't eat healthy, because you don't have to. So guess what? When you fail, don't blame your mom, don't blame your dad, don't blame teachers. Only person in the blame is yourself.
Never apologize for being obsessed. They'll call it too much. Let them. Positive obsession isn't a flaw. It's the edge that separates good from great. The one that cuts through excuses, distractions, and mediocrity. The world might call it too much, but they're just uncomfortable with the level of focus that they don't have. So go ahead, obsess over growth, obsess over your goals, obsess over becoming the best version of you.
Nobody else at the moment has the power to change you unless you have that initial spark and say, I must do something. I don't want this anymore. In order for something new to come, something old must go. Let go of what you know until now. Empty the cup and start from the beginning. You must spill the old tea and pour in new one. Then things look different.
Said to myself, if ever I want anything to change, it's up to me. That's the time where I really got scared. It suddenly hit me right between the eyes that if I wanted my life to be different, it was up to me to make my life different. And if I can get only one point across to you in this simple segment, this little segment is that the starting point of flying to the stars, the starting point of taking complete charge of your life, the starting point of great success and great achievement is to accept complete, unconditional responsibility. If it's to be, it's up to me. If it's to be, it's up to you. As Henry Ford said, never complain, never explain. What that means is if you don't like the way things are, then it's up to you to change them. And if you're not willing to take steps to change them, then don't complain about them. Just simply accept them. Men who are men and women who are women don't complain about the difficulties of life. They just accept them as the difficulties of life, and they either do something about them or they don't say anything. So if it's to be, it's up to me. If it's to be, it's up to you.
Most people just don't want to be responsible for their existence. The predominant state of mind is a victim. I say it with all the compassion in the world, but people really think that I am at the effect of life. And for most people, it's really justified. Like if you knew my dad, he was an asshole, and you knew my spouse, and there's just the absence of both accountability, responsibility, and personal power that for whatever reasons, I've attracted these circumstances for my own growth and evolution.
I know who you are because you're the same person. In adversity, in victory, in defeat, you're the same motherfucker.
Doesn't get turned off ever. Excellence, I said before, guys, is not an accident in somebody's life. It's a habitual habit that's trained and perfected and then remastered every single day in everything they do. You know you're on the right path when these small things, the momentum builders, hold value to yourself. When you stamp your name on something and it means something, come check it out, I did this. Not hoping someone doesn't see it. The fact you know it exists is enough.
Hey man, look, this is what you gotta do, bro. Wake up and grind. Wake up and grind. Wake up and grind. Every day. That's the method. I mean, it's not hard. If you get up every single day and put your mind to something, how could you really believe that you won't win? It's not possible. I mean, 99% of people already don't want to grind. So you just start and you becoming the 1%. This junk is really simple, but you're making it hard. When all you have to do is wake up and grind every day. That's the method.
Stop ignoring the voice in your head. You know the one I'm talking about, the one that knows you're capable of more, the one that whispers to you at night that you could have gone harder. What if I told you that voice is your potential, daring you to do more, be more, go bigger, do better? Don't ignore your potential. Feed it. Because I'll be honest with you, I am sick of people telling me to rest more, take a break, seek balance. Fuck off. If you are blessed with the opportunity to chase your dreams and whatever weird disposition leads someone to run after them with unwavering desire, then fucking do it. And apologize to no one.
The number one way to make people mad is to treat yourself like gold. Keep all your promises. Skip out on all the popularity contests and selling your soul to be on the same page as everyone. Leave the beer smoking and meaningless relationships to those that can't see through the BS, and they'll be angry at you. And is it because you're doing something wrong? No. I think your only crime is making them witness a life they wish they could have, but never will. People want to blame the mirror for what they see in it, but in all reality, the mirror provides nothing but the reflection of a harsh truth.
And I tell people, if you have found the right path and you feel frustrated and you feel blocked, that's a good thing, right? That little bit of pain, that little bit of frustration, it's often the signal that you're actually on the verge of turning into the right direction. You know, this is a signal that things aren't quite working out and you're listening to it. But if you get anxious and you don't listen to the frustration and you can't be creative, you can't go into it. But you'll learn at a much higher rate and you'll enjoy. Everything involves a degree of pain, a degree of practice, a degree of drudgery. There's nothing that's going to come easy in life. So anything skill that you're going to learn is going to involve that. And if you're not connected to it in a deep way, you're never going to learn fast enough, you know, and you're just going to burn out too early.
Live in the moment. Stop trying to be alive and start living. Death is coming. When it comes, are you ready for it? Are you gonna stand up and dance at that celebration? Or are you gonna be wishing, oh my God, because that's permanent, Matt. You can't change it. You can't reverse the clock. Try to make amends and do it right. You don't have time to say you're sorry and make it right. No, it's over with. That day comes. It's like studying for a test. That day is going to be tested. Do you pass or fail? It's a huge accountability of today. We come into this world by ourselves. We leave this world by ourselves. We have the opportunity to engage while here, but we leave alone. We leave with the memories and the embraces and the love and the experiences of life. We take that with us. And if we do it right, we leave footprints of legacy and motivation for others to follow and take the most out of life. Alive, but also living. Not so fearful for death that we become a self-paralysis in our own state, trying to preserve the inevitable. It doesn't work that way, guys.
Consistency isn't sexy, but the magic just doesn't happen overnight. It's in the small steps you take every day, the ones that feel repetitive, unnoticed, and even dull. Don't underestimate what you're doing right now. It's turning effort into momentum, and momentum into results. So keep going, because consistency doesn't just win, it changes everything.
Imagine that you're in a movie, and imagine the movie begins now. And you're the hero of the movie. What would that guy do? What would that guy do right now? Because you are.
People struggle to do things a lot. And the path of the exceptional person is one of an exception, which means that you are not with other people.
Don't let other people tell you what you can and can't do. If you feel like you should do it, go for it. Life's not perfect. Not everything has to work out, but the window of opportunity is getting smaller every day. Nobody sees the world like you see it. So just do what feels right today and worry about the rest tomorrow.
We all get exactly the same amount of time. Exactly. Now here's something interesting. The sand in the bottom of the glass represents the past. The sand in the top of the glass represents the future. You have no idea what's in the top of the glass. You only know what's in the bottom of the glass. The only thing we've got anything to do with is what's right here in the center right now. Everything else is an illusion. It's a myth. It's God. If we want to enjoy more of life, we've got to give everything we've got right now.
It's not what happens that determines your future. It's what you do about what happens. Direction determines destination.
When you make mistakes, they add up. They add up. One mistake compounds and leads to another, which leads to another, and they can lead you to a downward spiral of destruction. Here's the thing. You know what else adds up? The positive things. The good moves. The small sacrifices that you make to do things right. So put in the daily effort. Let that be your reward. Reward yourself. Feel gratification from knowing that you move the needle even just a little bit. And whatever it is you want to do isn't going to happen in one day. You have work to do.
You cannot change your life unless you go inside first, you figure out who you are, what your own wisdom is telling you to do, and you start to actually believe it and follow it.
I think when you're on the start path, you can't look at the outcome as the only positive because you will never make it. The positive frame that I've always used is thinking about who I was becoming as the asset that I was building. So in real time, whenever I finished a long day's work, I was becoming more like the type of person who could work for 5 years without reward. And that would be part of the story I would someday tell.
Let's say you want something really bad and you keep trying and you keep trying and you keep trying. And on the 10th try, you don't get it still. And then you say, okay, it must be a sign that I need to stop doing what I need to do. But what if you didn't know that on your 11th try, you would have made it. You would have made it happen and got what you wanted to get. So I feel like persistence is important because if you really, truly love something and you truly believe, you should just do it for the love. And you don't get to where you're going, you're still doing something you love. So
visualize it, but also feel it. Like feel yourself there. Close your eyes, smile to yourself, and feel yourself there. And believe me when I say you can manifest that.
The only people that criticize you for trying to be exceptional are those that have already accepted the fact that they're going to be mediocre forever. They look at you trying to better your life as an attack on them because they know they're not doing what they should be doing. They know they're not trying as hard as they can, and they know that they should be a much better version of themselves than they are. You and I both know that you're just trying to better yourself and it has nothing to do with them, but they don't see it that way. They feel they have to defend themselves because they see you doing something they know they should be doing. So when they make comments or make fun of you or try to make it seem like it's about them, understand that it is about them. It's about how they feel about themselves, and that is not your problem.
When's it gonna be? When is it gonna be that you are finally not full of Make the change that you need to make. Become the person you need to become. This is about becoming a person that can control their external environment and make decisions that serve them, no matter how hard those decisions might be, no matter how inconvenient those decisions might be. That's the only way you're going to solve this problem long term.
Kobe Bryant was not interested in winning championships. He was obsessed. And obsession comes in the small details that nobody pays attention to.
Don't listen to people that are going to tell you that you can't do it. Don't listen to haters. Don't listen to naysayers. Don't listen to people that give you advice that tell you to slow down or you shouldn't do it or you can't do it or time's not right or any of those other things. Those are dream stealers. They were sent to you to see if you'll overcome them. They were sent to you to test your resiliency. And if you can overcome that, if you just discard all of that stuff and you get clear on those other things, you've got a really good chance of doing something great with your life. And just remember what you were put here to do. You're not a mistake. You're not here by an accident. You were born to do something great with your life. You were born to make a difference with your life. This is a fact.
Change happens when the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of making a change.
What you realize is a lot of the things that you feared or hated or were embarrassed about as a child end up being the genesis of the things that you're most proud about as an adult.
Be careful what you aim at. What you aim at determines the way the world manifests itself to you. And so if the world is manifesting itself in a very negative way, one thing to ask is, are you aiming at the right thing?
So many people are suffering in comfort, meaning they're constantly trying to add things, even though they're suffering in their life. Prison of our minds, the prison of the emotions we don't want to feel, the prison of feeling like we're less, the prison of feeling like my life doesn't matter, the prison of not having a sense of direction, the prison of feeling invisible. And I believe suffering comes from a place in our life where we're not pursuing our dreams, we're not pursuing our potential.
I guarantee that there are people that have been sitting on an idea for more than a decade, sitting on a dream for over 10 years. And that's horrible. That's where dreams die. That's where ideas die. That's where projects die. So write down the top 3 things you need to do. And then you go do those 3 things. Imagine if you wrote down the 3 things you need to do tomorrow, and then tomorrow you woke up and you did them. And then imagine if you did that for 5 years. Where would you be in life?
You got to quit negotiating the price. Right now, make the decision that any price is worth it as long as it's legal, ethical, and moral for you to make your family proud of you, for you to make your dream happen. Stop negotiating the price. This negotiation you keep doing in your mind. Is this really where I'm supposed to be? This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Steals all your energy. It steals your focus. But those of you that get laser focused, that become totally immersed in your dream, that know those babies of yours, your parents, guess what? They're worth the sacrifice. You spend the rest of your life worrying about what everybody thinks about you. Someday you'll never have to worry about it again, because when you die, nobody will remember you were here.
You lose friends. Well, you're going to lose the friends who don't want the best for you. Those are the friends you want in 10 years? I mean, you lose friends. Well, maybe you gain new friends. Maybe you gain better friends. Or maybe, miracle of miracles, your friends pick up their mess too and move forward. But you have to contemplate the price you pay for inaction.
Yeah, it excites me. I think that's the difference is that when I have self-doubt, it excites me because it's like, okay, well, this is a challenge. Let's see. I don't know if I can do it in that, but we'll go find out.
What can happen if we decide, I'm going to see what happens when I decide that I am qualified? What happens when I decide for myself that I'm going to do something different?
Even when it's cold outside, even when it's raining, even when it's just too difficult to get out of bed, the person that has the ability to get up
and stay focused and consistent is a disciplined motherfucker.
Change isn't for those who need it. It's for those who want it. Translation, it's all about willingness. Willingness born out of a desire to survive, I suppose, but also pain. You don't have to be in pain to change. You don't have to hit rock bottom in order to make alterations to your life. Change is always within your grasp if you can summon the willingness to ask for it.
Stop worrying about what these people think about you. Live your dream. Worry about the people you love. And by the way, I know some of the very people you're doing it for are the ones not supporting you. They're the ones telling you to quit. Just do it anyway.
I want to tell you this. What you focus on is what you will feel. If you change your focus, you will change what you feel, and it will change your life.
You're in this job you hate, and it's 10 years from now. How does that look? Think about that. You already know you're in a little hell. You know perfectly well it's going to get worse. Which is more frightening? Action or inaction?
My brain can feel a certain way, but it's not going to choose how I behave all the time. I just can't let it do it anymore. I'm going to have setbacks, I know. But if I'm feeling bad, that doesn't mean I'm doing bad. That doesn't mean I am bad. That doesn't mean that I can't still take some action. Because, yeah, nothing changes and nothing changes, man. That in order for something to change, there needs to be change.
Allow yourself to be more open and more vulnerable, because what is hidden cannot be healed. It is in the light and the sharing and the trust and the vulnerability that together we get better.
And we will fight. And in fighting, we will win. And if not the battle, and if not the war, we will win because our spirit, it will never surrender. And that is the ultimate victory, to hold your head high. And even in the face of inescapable defeat, to stand and to fight. That is to win. And when bad things are happening, I am going to try and be the one good thing.
When it's time, you'll know. Trust me, when that moment comes, the feeling is unmistakable. So no matter how dark things might get, never forget that you are the light. You can pull yourself out of any situation, but it's going to take effort. It's going to take putting in the work when no one's watching or even cheering you on. Stop looking outside yourself to conquer that voice within. You have what it takes. Now go make it happen.
Telling you, the moment you truly decide to commit to self-mastery, to becoming your 2.0 self, to really elevating to the highest version of yourself, you will lose 99% of your friends. And the reason for that is you will scare them because they will not understand why you're so committed to self-development, self-actualization, becoming a better human. You won't have things in common anymore, right? Because if you are trying to transcend to self-mastery, to develop as a better human, and so in your process, in your journey of self-development, you will lose 99% of your friends.
Pretty soon you win. Pretty soon you'll fucking win. if you have the courage and the heart and the dedication and the mindset about everybody can go fuck themselves.
Most important question to ask yourself is, what pain are you willing to endure in your life, rather than what pleasure do you want? So whatever pursuit it is that you're going through, whatever challenges are placed in front of you, realize that there is value in stepping outside of their comfort, that on the other side of discomfort is something valuable. We're told that worthwhile things are difficult to attain, because if they weren't difficult to attain, they wouldn't be worthwhile.
And really ask yourself that question. What is it essentially that you are looking for living this life? How much of where you want to go did you achieve already? And also, are you actually still finding yourself on the way to wherever you wanted to go?
If you're not being defined by a vision of the future, then you are left with the memories of your past and you'll be predictable in your life. If you're not creating anything new, that means you're believing in your past more than you're believing in your future. So then if the person is living in anger, impatience, resentment, frustration, and they're holding the intention of their future, they're waiting for their success to feel abundance or empowerment. They're waiting for their new relationship to feel love. Well, that's the old model of reality of cause and effect, waiting for something outside to change how we feel inside. And if you're living in that lack and you know that you're creating your future, you're creating more lack. And if you're reacting to the people and conditions in your life that are all known to you, then your thoughts and feelings are equal to everything that you know. You keep creating the same life.
One entire year has just passed. Look at yourself in the beginning of this year compared to right now. Are you any different? Are you the same guy that you were in the beginning of the year? Try to make sure that this year you at least change something up, right? If years and years pass and you're just the same dude, then you're not really living in a way. I kind of feel like you're just being pushed through life.
Intentionally act like the person you want to become. Because when you intentionally act like the person you want to become, your brain sees you taking those actions, so your brain starts to change the way it relates to you.
You know, that first, step, when you really decide, all right, I got to start changing things, it is very uncomfortable because you're going to start doing things that aren't the norm in your life. You're going to have to let go of old ways, let go of old habits, and start stepping in and implementing new ones. And that is a very uncomfortable process because you're stepping into the unknown. You're stepping into something that your body is not familiar with. But at the end of the day, it's so rewarding in the long run. And if you can just stick it out through that first step where it gets really uncomfortable, on the flip side of that is everything that you want in life. It's the relationship, it's the job, it's the situation, it's the environment, it's the community.
Don't resent tough times. When life hands you adversity, it's not to expose how weak and vulnerable you are. It's to push you to become more resourceful and show you that you're capable of making it through what once felt impossible. Your battles are intended to build your character, not destroy your spirit. There is growth in your struggle. So just keep pushing.
With our thoughts, we create the world. That means there is something powerful about you. If you are disciplined, if you do the proper things, if you stay determined, stop the laziness, chances are very high that many of the goals that you're setting to yourself will become true.
What are you willing to sacrifice and what are you willing to give up to find every bit of who you are as a human being? There's no hacks, bro. It's you against you. You against you. And if you misunderstand that, you have a real problem. So the things that are important to you in life, you must do always, or you're nobody.
It's impossible to increase your mental toughness if you're afraid of failure. It's impossible to increase mental toughness if you don't get outside of your comfort zone. It's impossible to increase mental toughness if you don't do hard things. It's impossible to increase mental toughness if you don't throw yourself into the fire just to find out who you are on the other side of it. To throw yourself into the deep waters just to find out who you are on the other side.
Being fearless means put yourself out there and going for it. No matter what, go for it. Not for anybody else, but for yourself.